Good evening, folks. Thought I'd do a very brief video this evening to talk through one of the cheap things that you can buy on the interweb, and that is called the Amercom aircraft. This aircraft here is a really rare and hard to find one on the British market. It's not actually been released as part of a partworks series in the UK at least. It was released, I believe, in Greece, and it's just started turning up on eBay. I see one recently, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And this is, of course, this quite nice Royal, I believe it's Royal Australian Air Force Mosquito, but it could well be a British one as well. As you can probably see, the box has taken a bit of a battering en route to me, but the eBay seller is very kind enough to refund part of the cost for me, so I'm relatively happy about that. Let's unbox it and have a little look. So, for those of you familiar with the Amiccom Partworks series, they come in these boxes here, which aren't the greatest. So you have to sort of always prise two corners off and then slip it out. And underneath, you've got like a plastic clamshell that you usually get with Corgi and various other makes. This one here, like I said, it's never been released in the UK before. Amercom released this series, must be close to a decade ago now. I believe at the time it was around about 60 aircraft. And they've just been re-released in Mexico of all places, and there's been a number of different additions to this collection, and that includes a ME 110 in 172. I think there's a Bristol Blenheim. I'm not too sure the scale in it. And there's a few other bits and pieces, some interesting bits. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to turn up again on the UK market, but I think it's, a decade's been a long enough gap now, and it's a great way for new collectors, especially those sort of kids between, not obviously young kids, but sort of 8 years plus who are into their aviation to get into diecast modelling. So let's have a quick look. And of course, this is the Bristol Beaufighter. Let me take this out. You may have noticed on the actual box, when I was showing on the pre-video, had sustained a little bit of damage to the props, but they managed to bend back into place. It's going to need a little touch of black paint on that one there, but there's no real damage to it, believe it or not. Unfortunately, this is wheels up only, which is a bit of a pain. But if I show you underneath, it's clearly a copy of the Hobby Master Beaufighter. There's one very similar to this. I don't think it's the exact scheme in the British or Commonwealth Forces colours of green and brown with the ocean grey underneath. It's got no pilot figures, which is a bit of a pain. I mean, I'm sure you could probably price off that canopy there. But it doesn't look like there's a lot of detail in that cockpit, in all fairness. So if you're a bit of a painter, you could probably paint that black and make it look a little bit better as well. Shape of the model is really good. Like I said, in terms of the underneath, it's like a die-cast wing and like a plastic innards. Again, because it's a copy of the Hobby Master, you can get those undercarriage covers off if you do have a spare set of undercarriage. So maybe worth having a little look into. But overall, not bad for a cheap model. I paid 19 quid for this, and I've got 50% refund. So reality is what, £9.50. It's a fine little model. It's a shame, like I said. I mean, it might be worth. I might play around with it and try and see if I can get the undercarriage covers off to see where I can get some Hobby Master undercarriage on it. It does come with this rather annoying little stand, which isn't the best, which is very much the standard stand for Amercoms, which is this black plastic, usually with the nation's flag on there. For any German ones, usually have the swastika on there, which is obviously a bit of a problem in Europe. But paint finish ain't bad, actually, to be fair. Although mine, I don't know if you can see, it's got a bit of a brown overspray just slightly there. Nothing too sinister, to be fair. But overall, a very nice little model. And I guess, if, like I said, if you're starting on a budget and you wanted a Beaufighter and you didn't want to pay 90 quid for a Corgi or a Hobby Master, it's a good little start point. So here she is on a stand. Like I said, I'm not going to prize out the undercarriage on the live video. I might have a go and maybe take some more pictures of it. Like I said, the stand's a bit cheap looking, I should say. These sort of things can be found now on eBay through Chinese sellers. Also, AliExpress is a good place to look as well. There's a lot of now Chinese copies that are knocking around on the internet. Obviously, you've got your Legion models as well, which are based in China, and of course Air Force One, who knock out models as well relatively cheaply. But overall, I think it's a decent effort. I think the brown's too light. Personally, I think that's way too light if I was to be really picky. But overall, not a bad attempt actually for a £9 model. You can't really grumble. Be interesting to see what it looks like with another Beaufighter alongside it. Might see if I can get one out and take some pictures as well. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. So I've actually put myself on camera for a rarity. First of all, want to apologise. I've not done any videos the last 6 months. Been really, really busy. Lots going on. Everything's good. If anything, my life settled down. But what I found is that I found less time for my hobby. However, I've still been acquiring lots and lots of models. Recently acquired this in the New Year Corgi sale for all of 15 quid once I used my hobby points. And also at Christmas, I treated myself to this bad boy, the Air Force One B25. So this will be I think it's number 5 in the Doolittle Raiders that are going together. So a number of new aircraft plus the other 40 or so that I've got sitting out there. So lots and lots to photo and video. However, the lives. So I've not done any lives for a long while now. I've been chatting to Dan, and Dan's been incredibly busy as well. We're going to go big. We're going to try and do quite a few. So next Saturday on the 10th at 9 p.m. UK time, I'll be joined by Christian down in Australia. I'll be joined by Dan. I'll be joined by Andy Curtis, who's also the plane modeler on Instagram as well. And we're trying to even get Mitchell on as well, who's also one of the group on Facebook. Of course, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, just search for DWC Diecast Wings Collectors and you'll see us there. Lots of polls going on. As you know, obviously Corgi are now releasing their new catalogue on the 14th of January at 10 in the morning. So as soon as that's released, I'll be doing a video review just in terms of talking over the models, what I think. There'll definitely be 3 new toolings and there'll be 2 updated toolings. So in reality, it's almost like having 5 new toolings joining the tool bank. So really, really exciting. Something that hasn't happened in a number of years with Corgi's budget cuts and whatnot, and the Hornby's obviously struggles in the past, but it looks like they're really coming out of there, a really strong 2025. And speaking to Michael Clegg, obviously friend of the page as well, I'm still trying to get an interview with Michael and David at some point. We're going to do a big Q&A. I can put some questions on to MH3 forum as well, and across obviously all YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for anybody to ask questions. And try and see if we can chop people onto the actual call as well in terms of asking questions live. I think that'd be a really nice little touch. So after the 14th, the following Saturday, providing everything goes to plan, we'll be doing a Corgi review of the initial first catalogue in the year. Because remember, there's 3 catalogues: there's January, May, and September. So we've got 3 to go through, but obviously we'll do a talk through of that as well. And there's lots of other subjects I want to cover. I've abolished Wings Monthly per se because I just found that there wasn't really a lot of uplift of it in terms of people watching it. I know obviously the guys on the page really enjoyed it and stuff like that, but I didn't feel that I wanted to waste people's time by going on there and hoping to get loads of exposure. It just wasn't happening. So hopefully an exciting 2026. Lots of air shows, hopefully including Shuttleworth this year. For those who haven't seen the Shuttleworth Festival flight, I've got the Red Bull fleet there. Nice work, Jim. Really good. So lots of positivity on that front. Not lots of positivity on the West Ham front. Please don't mention it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm over it now. Although I'm going Tuesday night. So so lots to look forward to. Hopefully lots of models joining the collection as always. And of course, the bit that keeps us going is you guys, the guys who follow us, contribute and all enjoy talking about this hobby we all love. So hopefully see you all Saturday night at 9 p.m. Please tune in. It'll be on that Instagram live as always, and then I'll share it across the other platforms through Facebook and on YouTube. See you then.